Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for part number 3 of Day 9 Daily number 394, where it's all things Thorzain and why he's good. In part 1, we introduced this incredibly good opening from Thorzain, where he got so many everything. Add-ons, marines, SCVs, upgrades. The only thing he didn't get a lot of is tanks, which of course brings us to the big topic we talked about in part 2. This matchup, Terran vs. Terran, is all about positioning with your tank marine lines. So Thorzain, by opening up with so many marines and getting medevacs quite quickly, he can start his tank line farther forward. If you just open with tanks, you don't have enough units to hold off his small marine numbers. That's what we're going to see a lot of in this game. Thorzain's opening allows him to get into that good position. And no matter where the tank line is drawn, try to find those areas of weakness and just start chewing away, just start scooping it out, scooping it like ice cream. As we love to do, Thorzain, we are going to talk about your opening as it happens live. The fanciest thing being 2 in each geyser. Ooh, you sexy beast. Speaking of sexy beast, there is no British person who arouses me more than E.G.'s Muslim, spawning up at the top right, who actually has lost the ability to lose on ladders recently, which is a good thing to not have. So, one thing I briefly want to note, all these replays that you've seen in today's daily were from the North American Star League Season 2 Grand Finals, and that replay pack is somewhere. I would Google it. I think I Googled it. Yeah, I'm a Googler. So, Thorzain. No funny business like going command center first. He just gets his marine, his depot, he builds a command center at his back door. Is the build any different because there's only 6 mineral patches here? The answer is no. And that's actually the entire answer. He builds a second barracks and then immediately builds 2 geysers that, oh my goodness, what happens? 2 in each geyser. Who'd have thought? With the first little bit of gas, he gets a reactor. With his next little bit of gas, he gets a tech lab. Right after the second barracks is done, he adds himself on a third barracks. And then he's going to get the following 3 things at around the same time. He's going to get an engineering bay, which I think gets planted here. Yep, there it is. An engineering bay. And he'll be getting a factory. And he'll be putting 3 in gas. 3 in gas, 3 in gas, and getting a furnace. Boom. Cool. With his first set of gas, he gets combat shield. With his next set of gas, he gets stim. With any additional gas, he gets upgrades, 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 and starts to get himself some medevacs. Per usual, I will do my favorite thing in the known universe. Pausing at 8 minutes. Oops. 8 minutes and 30 seconds is what I wanted to shoot for, but I way overshot it. And I was doing my impersonation of you at a gas pump. Oh, yeah, I know you've done it. Has to be $10 exactly. I can't pay the extra penny. I can't afford it, man. I know you do that. I do that. I know you do. I can stop it at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I was doing an impression. So, cool. Thorzain. At this point in time, let's go to the unit tab. Thorzain has figured out a way to have 10 more Marines than his opponent. Cool. Yes, it does look like Muslim has completed his 2 medevacs a touch earlier. Muslim's doing kind of a similar style, where he's getting his upgrade pretty early. Come to the production tab with me. Yep, look, they're getting their upgrades pretty early. Muslim has a slightly earlier stim than Thorzain. But, whoa. Muslim has no combat shield. Combat shield already done for Thorzain. So, in terms of the 2 key marine upgrades, stim and combat shield, Thorzain is way ahead on that front. Thorzain has not yet begun producing a tank. I mean, Thorzain is in pretty good shape. Muslim will have a lot more tanks since he got his started so early. And Muslim, by getting these medevacs so early, can put pressure on. That's really the goal that he was going for, was to be able to put pressure on and to do damage. But Thorzain is really good at just positioning his stuff. So it's at a time like this when the Muslim not only kills this off, but realizes that it is time to go home. Now, in the previous game, what did we see Thorzain do with his Marines? He literally walked them to the center of the map and took control. In this particular circumstance, we can't really do that. Right? Look at our vision. The Muslim has taken everything. That's what these medevacs are for, and why we're looking at that in game number 3. Here come the medevacs. Watch how simple these medevacs work. Again, everyone knows that we want to kill off a whole bunch of stuff with these drops if we can, but what do we do with the main army? That's always the more important question. What do you do with the main army? And watch this. I'm going to the Thorzain cam just so you see how simple and awesome this is. Killing the production tab. Here he comes. Moving forward. Brief note, getting a command center while he's moving out. Cool. He's going to drop. Just make sure that he takes no damage. Doesn't even have stim yet. Nearly loses this stuff. He, so far, has killed a worker. Wonderful. He leaves one Marine to try to kill off the depot, but it fails. In the units lost tab, it's basically nothing. Great. Did a drop, pulled back, and now he moves out. Isn't that simple? He just... 2 medevacs of stuff is more than enough to force the Muslim to bring back virtually everything at this point in time. At this point in time, Thorzain moves out. Where? To a very far forward location. Per usual, sending 1 Marine forward. Alright, hey, nice! So now, it looks like both players really hate these destructible rocks because they're both shooting at it. Thorzain starting the mood of things off right. He is sieging up. Oh, accidentally loads up into the medevac. Actually, not accidentally, just does it correctly. Now, come here and draw a line with me. Where's the tank line? I would say something like that. Something kind of like this. Notice how many expansions are on the red side of the line. This base, this one. We have these bases here. This base is probably going to be hard for Muslim to take. These ones, I mean, hell, even just think, what happens if Muslim took any base in the top side? Does that seem hard for him to defend? I certainly think so. I certainly think so. Another little drop. Look at how simple these drops are. Do they kill off that much? Nah, not really. Maybe engages for a little while, and then he just comes right on home. Yeah. Getting a second factory, getting a third base, having a whole bunch of stuff. And Thorzain is not going to try to do any sort of huge, giganto attack. Just watch the scooping. We're just going to admire the scoop. Scoopy-doopy-doo. There he is, strengthening the line, sieging up, strengthening it up, sieging by the watchtower, getting the line. Come to the unit tab. Way more tanks. And by way more, I mean 1 more. My god. Looks like the Muslim is, wow, still actually producing tanks 1 at a time, but does have this third base up. Thorzain can't exactly push the Muslim, and vice versa.
Upgrade complete.
But they certainly can do the scoop. Here is the dangerous moments, and what makes TvT always really fun is when players start doing this. The Muslim's clearly trying to break this position, because you know what? The Muslim really badly wants to be right here. The Muslim wants to be here really badly, the same way Thorzain wants to be here.
Upgrade complete.
The Muslim's going to try to break it.
Complete.
And look at the Muslim. Look at this brilliant job of scooping through. Actually, let's come back and talk about why the Muslim's awesome for a moment. To the Muslim cam. Look at that. Scans twice. Sees the exact positioning. Instant response with just barely enough units. Why? Because he's scooping the line forward. And there he is sieging up. Now, as we come back to the everyone cam, look at what the line has done. I'm going to draw the line across the minimap. What was that question I asked earlier? What do you feel about an expansion being up here? I feel a lot better about it as the Muslim, just by having these units here. It even looks better. But Thorzain, he's going to have none of that. None of that! Just kills it. He just takes it down. Admiring the scoop. So you're going to see a lot of scanning of one another. A lot of scanning. And here's a drop from Thorzain. Anytime things are getting a little stagnant and you can't quite find a weakness in the defense, for instance, in this position, how do you really break through that? It's going to be tough. Anytime that happens, drops are always great plays to do, but don't go drop crazy. Don't just start dropping because You saw in a replay once that a drop did a lot of damage. Drop for some sort of purpose. A drop like this, look at all the stuff that's coming back. A drop like this, it's going to pull stuff back. And yeah, killing off engineering bays is great, but what if these engineering bays were here? This drop is put in the top left side of the base because it's an easy getaway. And there's some vulnerable workers here. Easy getaway that ends up being a not so good getaway, but look at this. Right when this is dying, because there's a tank there, scan from Thorzain to see if he can scoop any farther forward. And you know what? He can scoop. He's going to scoop right along this side. You can do a scoop and do a scooping forward.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Look at it. Look at it. Loads freaking tanks into medevacs to drop them here just so they don't actually have to walk through this vulnerable gap. Just so they don't have to run through that skirt. Or through this edge. Just this little skirting edge of the tank. I'm going to stop using the word skirt. I can't use it properly. He drops because he likes to scoop. He's just scooping forward. In the meantime, ooh, yeah, command center. Look how easily and naturally this command center was built. Look at how unnatural it is for Demuslim to build a command center anywhere. He is right under the gun right from the get-go. In the Thorzain cam, meanwhile, actually, wow, he's scanned so much, I thought I was still on the everyone view. Because he has just such complete vision of his opponent. Thorzain, scooping, Terran player.
Upgrade.
Just scooping. Oh yeah, making a ridiculous amount of barracks. I think that a big mistake I've fallen victim to so many times is my money is so high that I think, well, sweet, I have a lot of money. Command center, command center, command center. I think it's important first to build all the barracks and all these production structures. Thorzain's really committing to having way better production capacity than Demuslim, which is going to come into effect right about now. Now, Demuslim is awesome. He identified that scary-looking line of Thorzain's as a weak point and drilled it. He could have drilled this. He could have drilled this. It was all based upon his judgment.
Add-on complete.
Getting a lot of freaking Marines, building 12 Marines at a time, which is oftentimes good. Some engagements, Thorzain did not pull back that time. Oopsie daisies, Demuslim is doing a great job of his anti-scoop by scooping a little bit himself. But glance up at the production tab with me. Demuslim is low on money. So is Thorzain. They're both building as much as they can. Yet it's 11 Marines versus 15 and 2 tanks and 2 medevacs. That's kind of why I was saying, yeah, I think it's important to really ratchet up those production facilities. So that way when you lose a little bit of edge on your tank line, you can just go absolute aggro, madman. You can go bear shit.
Mineral field.
Look at that. One siege tank to nibble away at that one. He's just scooping. Little scoops. Slowly inching forward with little tiny scoops. Not trying to suicide to crush this. I mean, something that I think is totally reasonable is even to extend the line over here. Or to scan here and see if you can scoop the other side. And boom, Thorzain marches right on in, takes it out. And that's game. Scoop. Now, because my mod Markio is amazing. Markio Chola. There it is. Yeah. He has a question grabber that will now begin grabbing beautiful viewers' questions. I'm going to start the question grabber. It started. It has begun. I'm going to sit up in the squeaky chair, wearing my extra large Day 9 shirt, even though I don't wear extra larges. So it's just a lot of fabric. It's making it very, very hot. Raz Grizaces says, Day 9, I'm top in my bronze rank, and I have a difficult time with Terran vs. Terran. I usually fail against mech because I'm mainly bio. Any ways to respond to mech with bio? Well, there's two things that I want to note. If you're in the Bronze League, I would say that probably most importantly, make sure that you never miss SCVs, never miss depots, and all your barracks are constantly churning out stuff. This will actually solve a huge amount of your problems. You'll actually probably jump up to high silver or gold just by doing that. To answer the strategic side of things, you don't even need to think of it in a different way if you're against mech. You just identify where a lot of his sieged tanks are and just hit him wherever he's weak and just slowly work your way forward. You probably should build some Marauders in there, but even Thorzain builds a good amount of tanks against a meching player. Because again, it's all about the line and wiggling your way forward. I don't care if he's going Hellion tank or you're going Marine tank. Whoever has a farther forward tank line, eventually the enemy will kind of have to engage you if he can't scoop on any angles. And if you have a lot of tanks, you can easily hold a lot of expos. Yeah. And against mech, be really aggressive with your positioning. Like, go really far forward. And build sensor towers all the hell over the map. Because what is he really going to do if you build sensor towers, like, everywhere? You can't. He's going to run up. He's going to try to burn it down with Hellions. I bet he can either take siege tanks or Thors to really get a secured kill on it. And at that point, he's basically sending his whole army. Craw X. Day 9. I know increasing map control is important. But what if the opponent ninja expands or proxies? I hope I understand the term ninja expand correctly. Would this type of play be vulnerable to some sort of counterattack? This actually is not very vulnerable to counterattack. If you have good map control, that's another way of saying that you're pretty much counterattack proof. The one thing that you'd really worry about is a huge drilling push that just marches its way through the whole map. But you'll notice that in the Thorzain cam, let me actually rewind to the 18-minute mark. He has this aggressively positioned sensor tower right here. He has this aggressively positioned one right here. So there's not really that much need for any sort of fear of a counter. I mean, he had this watchtower up, and as extra insurance, he's patrolling through these locations just to make sure that there's nothing that can sneak around. I think far and away the most important thing of all, though, is with so much of your army right there at the front gates in his face, if he leaves with any amount of units to try to sneak up and kill you, you can just kill his front. Like, if there's 4 full medevacs of things and they're up here, and Thorzain just scans and sees you are missing 24 Marines to 30 so Marines, then he just kills you. At the same time, though, the ninja expand issue, I do want to say, Thorzain should absolutely have been scouting these expansions. It only takes a unit to do it. And if you lose to a hidden expansion, you will want to cry. You will want to cry. Oh, here's a completely awesome question. I love this. From Aloon. Would it be difficult to play against early cloaked banshees or siege tanks using this build? I'm going to answer the... Aloon also said he's late, so I will direct you to part 2, Aloon, to answer a little bit more of the siege tanky question. But for the banshees, notice that this wonderful friendly engineering bay, when does it get started? Bam! It gets started, and it's 35-second build time. Cloaking will finish around 7 minutes and 30 seconds if he's going really crazy early cloaking. And if you see that, you just build a turret, proceed as normal. And he is in really bad shape. He's going to be in ultra bad shape. Another big reason why Banshees are not so good against this play with Cloak is that you have a lot of scan because you have 2 orbital commands. You can easily, by the way, build a turret right now. Just turret, yeah, 25 seconds. Just throw that sucker down. Just put some Marines there, lose 4. You also have combat shield up so you can... wow, God, this build is incredibly good. You're going to have combat shield almost before the Banshee arrives, right around 7:10-ish. It should be getting to your base. But combat shield will be done by then, so now it's 3 shots to kill a Marine instead of 2. I'd actually say that Thorzain's build will crush a Cloaked Banshee opening. Like, smash it. You might lose a couple SCVs, but then you get Marines with Stim and Combat Shield and Medivacs dropping in your base. Well, you have a Cloaked Banshee. Ain't that sad? Last one. Airplane 185 asks what my favorite Blue Sky Black Death album is. It is Noir. Recommend you get it. That's going to wrap it up. Woo! Be seeing you tomorrow for some TvZ action, and on Thursday, Mech and Terran vs. Protoss. And if you have any Mech games that you think are really, really good, please send an email to Tuesday@day9.tv with the headline, Pro Mech Replay, if it's a professional, or My Mech Replay, if it's you. If you say Pro Mech Replay and it's you, it'll get auto-deleted. And believe me, I have people helping me with that. So, that's it. Send it to Tuesday@day9.tv. See ya. Later. Also, can I just say that I'm probably happier about this daily than any I've done in a really long time. Wow. Yeah, I've been feeling a little... my brain's been getting all scattered and grody and stuff, but this one, wow. I guess it's because I've been thinking about this play that he did a lot, so I'm happy. Yeah, hope it was useful. If it wasn't, you can just let me know. I'm looking at the chat right now. But if it was, I'd also love to know. Woo, that'd be cool. Yeah, woohoo! Let's play some music. Let's play some music. Oh, I know what song we didn't finish.